Hello and welcome to this year in review. My name is WW Dadman, but you already know that. And we're gonna go back and see what were the good games of this year, what were the bad things that happened in the gaming industry this year, and what do we have to look forward to in the future. So this is basically the same thing I've been doing for the last 2 years. But yeah, it's that time of the year again, so let's go. So first of all, we're gonna start off with a game that really is a 2020 release, but I only got to try it this year cause the PlayStation 5 is really not a 2020 release. That was like the paperest of paper launches, because nobody was able to get one last year, which we talked about that very in depth last year. Let's not dwell on that too much. So the game that I want to talk about here is Watch Dogs Legion. Now, we did a treasure on that, I think, at the start of the year, and it ended up being quite a nice game, and seeing as there's permadeath in it, I decided that I'd do a kind of nuzlocke of it essentially at some point, but I haven't gotten around to that yet. But the game itself is, for being a Ubisoft game, incredibly good actually. At least for the part that I've gotten to play so far. Now, another one that was actually released last year with the PS5 launch, but again, the PS5 is not a 2020 release if I'm in any way concerned. So, Bugsnax. Bugsnax was a really fun game. The idea of having like living snacks, so to say, or living food running around that you can catch is just an incredibly weird thing to do, and I like weird things. So yeah, Bugsnax was fun. I'm looking forward to them releasing the Isle of Big Snacks update next year. So that's something for the future, but we're gonna talk about the future later. Now to the actual releases of this year. The Binding of Isaac Repentance. Now, Repentance added most of what was in the old mod called Anti-Birth for the original Rebirth, that added most of that content, plus a ton more content. And honestly, I haven't gotten around to even finishing all of that content yet. Which is also because I kinda didn't get to stream it a whole lot, and there's a lot of stuff that I want to stream because it will take multiple attempts, and I don't want to upload episodes that are essentially just me resetting over and over. So yeah, but yeah, I'm definitely still going to finish that game, in a sense that I'll do the 100% again. But yeah, we gotta have a little bit of time dedicated to that, because there is a lot to do still. Up next, new Pokemon Snap, which basically brought back the Pokemon Snap from the N64, which was already a pretty great game for the time. At least I always had fun playing it. And new Snap is just that, but way better. So there is really nothing bad I could say about new Pokemon Snap. Then we have Returnal, which I still haven't gotten around to actually play yet. Returnal is a kind of roguelike-ish, like freaking procedurally generated shooter exclusive to the PS5. I haven't gotten around to actually play it. It's a really interesting game. I've seen gameplay of it, but I still haven't gotten around to actually play it. It would kind of take a long time again to actually finish that game, so I don't want to start 700 games that all take a long time to finish, because then I just sit here for a few years and just try finishing those and can't do anything else. But yeah, I'm looking forward to still doing that eventually. Up next, we have 2 games by Bossa Studios that would once be I Am Fish, which released this year into Game Pass actually, and was a nice like spiritual successor to I Am Bread. It also like connected again all of the Bossa games into one universe, which is just welcome to the Bossa cinematic universe. It's actually incredible. I mean, there were some aspects of the game and some parts of the levels that I just really hated, but all in all, it was a good game. It's nowhere near like freaking Game of the Year status, but neither was I Am Bread, and I still like that, so yeah. And the second one being, of course, Surgeon Simulator 2, which released on Steam, so which is like its actual official release, because fuck the Epic Store. And yeah, I've been playing that with Medic on every second Monday, so yeah, you have seen that probably. Pretty good sequel to Surgeon Simulator, and I mean, it also again has some aspects to it that I would have done different, but all in all, that there's definitely less about this game that I'd have changed than there is about I'm Fish. Next up, Subnautica Below Zero, which I still need to finish. But yeah, the sequel to Subnautica is basically the same game as Subnautica, so it's good. It's really good. I just really need to get around to frickin' finish it, because yeah, I don't want that Let's Play to just sit there unfinished. So yeah, expect that sometime in the future. I just need to like sit down and actually like stream or record that. So yeah, whenever I get the time. Next up, another game that I actually didn't get to play through yet, cause fuck if I ever have enough time to actually play all the games I want to play. Doki Doki Literature Club Plus, which is like the paid and extended version of Doki Doki Literature Club that released this year. I really would love to actually play through that, but unfortunately I just hadn't had the time to dedicate any to it. So yeah, expect that coming up still. Then we have Splitgate, which is basically Portal as an online multiplayer shooter. Kind of like combined the Portal mechanics with something along the lines of Quake, which is a really cool concept, and we played this on the channel, but I haven't had the time to actually like keep playing it. But it's a really cool game, and I hope it does well still. I'm definitely into it. I just don't have the time to actually play it. Another game that I haven't gotten time to finish, and therefore not gotten time to actually do the gaming abridged on yet, Deathloop. Deathloop is developed by Arcane Studios, which means it is developed by the people behind Dishonored. And from what I've played of it, it has a lot of the Dishonored vibes, but I still haven't gotten around to actually finish it, and I actually hate that I don't have time to finish stuff. Another game I would have loved to actually play, but again, I don't have time. Kenna Bridge of Spirits. Really cool game. Amazingly cute graphics. I've watched like part of a playthrough on stream from a German streamer, but yeah, I would have loved to actually get around to play that. Haven't gotten around to it yet, but that's still on the list for the future, definitely. What I did get around to do though is Kimetsu no Yaiba Hinokami Kepputan, or frickin' what's Hinokami Chronicles in English, the Demon Slayer game, which honestly was just really fun to play. I mean, I'm not somebody who enjoys frickin' like fighting games like that usually, but that is just really fun to play. Maybe because Kimetsu no Yaiba is easily in the top 3 of my favorite animes ever. But yeah, I like that a lot, and yeah, expect the like last parts of that to be up soon. Then of course we cannot forget about the newest Dark Pictures game, House of Ashes, which for once was at least not the great reveal at the end is somebody just fucking imagined shit, but in this case it was actually aliens. Sorry if I just spoiled that for you, but you should have seen the Let's Play by now or played it. It's not that new. Sorry. I still need to do the Curator's Cut playthrough, and I still need to eventually play through all of them again to try to save everybody and kill everybody, but that's in the future when the last one of Season 1 comes out. Which is something I definitely look forward to, by the way, but that's in the future again. And the last thing that came out this year that I want to talk about is YuGiOh Rush Duel, Psycho Battle Royale, or Dawn of the Battle Royale, which is the Rush Duel variant of YuGiOh, of the trading card game, as a video game. I mean, I have some things about this game to say that are negative, but positive. Rush dueling is fun, and I'm looking forward to play more of that. The negatives, it's incredibly fucking hand-holdy and restrictive. If you start it up, it won't even give you a settings menu before you play at least 1.5 hours of the game. Like, it won't give you the settings menu until you completed 1.5 hours of tutorial. The tutorials are hand-holdy as fuck, which, I mean, okay, if you never dueled before, that's gonna be nice, because you actually get to learn how to play the game. But as somebody who comes from, like, normal TCG Yu-Gi-Oh!, it was way over the top on tutorialization. And I wish there was like a setting for how much you want tutorialized. So yeah. Apart from that, I streamed over 2 hours of it, and I still can't build my own deck. I still have to use the predetermined decks, which I mean, you might wanna like give me the option to actually do stuff with the cards I win, maybe. So, to another game that I have both good and bad things about to say, which is why I put it here at the like end of the good and the start of the bad, and that would be Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Now, first for the good parts, it fixed nigh everything that I hated about Gen 4. It fixed the games being incredibly fucking slow and sluggish. It fixed the incredibly restrictive movesets early game. Like, for instance, friggin' Shinx now learns Thundershock way earlier. It fixed the stupid, ridiculous amounts of HMs necessary to play through the Gen 4 games. And those were my top 3, like, problems with it. It did not fix that there's essentially only 2 fire types available unless you catch a Houndoom in the underground. Other than that, we have monkey and we have horse. Which makes me think, I kind of want to do a challenge run where I only use underground Pokemon, but then again, the underground has a lot of variety, so that's not gonna be too interesting. Also, I need to get to like before the second badge already to even get underground Pokemon. So yeah, no, never mind that. But yeah, the bad things about BDSP, and that's like the one big thing that I really dislike about it, like maybe 2, is the graphics of the overworld are shit. They're absolutely shit. They look like garbage. The only thing that looks good is the water. It looks garbage otherwise. The blur is complete bullshit. It just looks like absolute garbage. Secondly, the controls are dodgy and you get stuck a lot if you don't use the frickin' D-pad instead of the stick. Especially if you're using the bike or you're running. But yeah, other than that, it is still probably my favorite way of ever playing a Gen 4 like through Sinnoh again. Since, you know, most of what I hated about Diamond and Pearl didn't get fixed in Platinum. Most of it did get fixed in frickin' BDSP. So yeah, the things that I still don't like about it are insignificant compared to the absolute stupid sluggishness of the original Gen 4 games and the DS era in general, because Heart Gold and Soul Silver and Platinum did not do any better in that regard, and Black and White and Black and White 2 just stop you every 5 minutes with a cutscene, so it's kind of like Sun and Moon, which also does that. So yeah, that is sluggish and slow for a different reason. I have been enjoying my Deadman's Lock of freaking BDSP so far, so that's fine. Still looking forward to actually finish that so I can start shiny hunting and like completing the decks and stuff. First and foremost though, about the shiny hunting, the shiny charm is kind of broken in those games. Because it only applies to eggs. I mean, great that Masuda method with shiny charm still gives you a 1 in 500 chance, but meh? You couldn't like activate that for like in the wild encounters? Really? I mean, at least they do have the Poker Radar, something like at least they have that, and that has pretty decent chance of getting a shiny, and you see if it's a shiny before you encounter them on, so that's like the shiny hunting method for the radar thing is pretty much if Let's Go shiny hunting wasn't just standing there and waiting for a shiny, but actually interactive. Maybe by the time this releases, I already am done, and I don't know, but I wanted to make sure that I record this before the end of the year, so I can actually make sure that I get this out by the end of the year. So, to the 2 other things on the bad lists that I wanted to talk about. 1, FIFA 22. I mean, apart from the fact that EA is garbage and the fact that EA keeps putting microtransaction gambling into their games, and fucking FIFA is by now the online stuff is just gambling, basically. I really don't see a reason to play FIFA online. But what's even more stupid, the PC version of FIFA 22 is still the last gen version, the PS4 and Xbox One version. cause they were too fucking ridiculously lazy to program a fucking option into the game that just turned the features that needed the newer hardware off. Like, I mean, you can fucking program fucking RTX being on or off. You can program the game to run on 2 or multiple different graphics APIs, but you can't turn off an AI thing? Really? I mean, apart from that, also fucking Switch got the same treatment it has gotten for like years now, where the new game is essentially just a roster update. So yeah, I don't know why anybody would buy the PC version or the Switch version by now. So yeah, if anything, FIFA is only playable on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. But yeah, no, just no. And the second bad, pure bad, is Nintendo going ahead, implementing a second tier of online service, and the feature that you gain from subscribing to the more expensive expansion pass, which is, by the way, double the money in euros, more than double the money in dollars, as far as I've seen. It adds 2 broken emulators. Like, you've seen how not really amazing the emulators for the NES and the SNES were on the Switch. We tried those out. I did a treasure on that. The N64 one that they added with this service was just basically a big fuck you to anybody who actually bought that shit. Because it was incredibly fucking broken. Like, the tiny amount of games that they actually offer you on that service still doesn't work correctly. I mean, there is an emulator on the PC called Project 64 that is probably better at emulating than the Switch emulator that is first party. Also, the other emulator was for the Sega Genesis, which is just a console that I have no relation to whatsoever, because I don't think anybody in Europe remembers Sega consoles. Because around here it was always Nintendo or Sony, and that's it. Oh, and just because I forgot to actually write it down, one more thing for the good side more than for the bad side. Back 4 Blood actually released, and it, for all I tried it, felt very much like Left 4 Dead, and I like it. People have been saying that they don't. People have been saying that it's not the same. People have been saying that it's lacking. I don't see that, but yeah, everybody entitled to their own opinion on that. I'm looking forward to eventually playing through that with Medic whenever Medic gets around to actually buy that. But yeah, I'm into it. I like it. So let's come to the future. With the first thing that I'm going to list here being something we've listed for the past 2 years, I think. KSP2, which is now scheduled for release in early frickin' 2022. I hope that they actually make that release by then. I also hope that it doesn't release in a broken state, so if they need more time, they should take it, but by now they have been developing on that for a long time, so I really hope that that comes out soon. Until then, we still have the fireworks thing in KSP1 to go through, so that's nice. So next on the list is Stray, which has also an early 2022 release. Definitely a game I want to play. It just looks really interesting to play as a cat. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. That's not gonna change. What probably will also release next year is finally the redo of System Shock that has been in development for years now. That I backed on Kickstarter actually, and yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to do that finally. Also, System Shock 3 is still in development, and we're definitely going to do the freaking Gaming Abridged for the entire series once that is out. January, of course, has the release of Pokemon Legends Arceus, so that is definitely getting played I don't know about day one since I actually ordered a physical copy, but as soon as I get that copy, we are starting that game. Another series of games that I eventually want to cover, but haven't gotten around to yet. Stalker is getting Stalker 2 finally after having 3 games already. Along the lines of like Pokemon clones-ish, very, very big-ish there, is a game that we saw in one of the frickin' conferences streams in summer. I don't remember which one. The game is called Doki, and it looked pretty interesting. I definitely want to try it at least, and we'll see when that comes out. We've got 2 more things to talk about here. Hogwarts Legacy, which is a basically a role-playing game set in the Harry Potter universe. I'm a Harry Potter fan, so I kinda wanna try that out. And lastly, Deathverse Let It Die, which just looked really cool when we saw it in one of the trailer streams, like reveal streams again. But yeah, I'm interested in where that's going, so we'll see when that releases. And of course, as I already said, I'm waiting for the Bugsnax I Love Big Snacks update and for YuGiOh to actually release the Rush Duel cards in English and in the West. So yeah, once that is a thing, expect me to open the packs on the channel as well, because I've had a lot of fun opening Yu-Gi-Oh cards this year as well. So I definitely want to collect the Rush Duel cards when they release in English. So I think this is where we are done with this year. So thank you very much for watching. See you next year. And until then, my name is WW Dadman, and I'm out of here. Bye.